ask Jefferson, but he had some clues about some stuff. Whoa. Whoa! Teddy, is that you? Oh no! You've caught me with my two-legged trousers down, so to speak. Yes, that's right. I'm not as humanoid as I had led everyone to believe. Please don't tell the others. Perhaps it could be our secret. Though I hope you're better at keeping secrets than I am. Tell you what, keep this between us and I can show you the biggest secret of all. Let's go. Alright, two legs, let us head east to the domain of the Frog King. Oh, I can't go in there. We'll have to travel on foot. Those are feet, right? His line was like my obvious digital digits of my bipeds, and so like how exciting to be out on an adventure. I can feel the blood coursing through my appendages. Just so you know, Jefferson, I'm not what you would call happy that I have to be doing this. It's a long way. If those two legs of yours get tired, you can take me back to my tank. He's pretty funny, yeah. Okay, so I wonder if that was a door that's not normally open. I only came in here because no reason. Okay. I need to cough. Yeah. We got some souls for lighting him, I guess. Yeah, fighting with Jefferson on the back. Why not, yeah. So we're still missing 2 of each shrine. We got all the collectibles though. Oh, the thing will the door marker will tell us if we need to get something from that zone. So that's good. Well, this is a spooky place. I think I saw a ghost. No, I didn't. I've already collected all the ghosts and put them in their keyholes. Don't you worry about those stinky ghosts, Jefferson. Like, we spent a lot of time... I mean, you'd have to go around and collect all the seeds anyway. But this nighttime content that happens post-game... Like, it's a lot of content that they could have had and not rolled credits yet. I think it was a mistake. I think that, like... I don't know. Unless they totally said, you know what, we want content that's only there for people that are willing to go get it. But in which case then, you know, go. You know, totally cool. I want to make a cutesy little Zelda-like boss battle game. Vania. Alright, so I need to either find someone creative or just pump someone full of recreational brain enhancers. Oof, that thing almost took off a limb. I thought it was this way. Sorry, Jefferson, I think I've lost mate. Yeah. Ooh, spooky door shut at night. Through there? Ah, this way. Maybe. Which I think we went this way anyway. Oh, no. Wait. Yeah, I found it. We're almost there. Keep your eye membranes open. Look for guidance from the moon. Oh, that's... Where's that? That... I know what he means. Spirit world is close to the moon. There we go. We got the moon rocks. Right, that looks like the way we came. What do you got for me, Jefferson? Oh, there's also, when we come back, we can do that. Jefferson only looks like a half, mate. Oh no, it's a moon. We're here. I'll call upon the spirit to show us their secrets. Spirit of the depths, please show us your treasures. Landwalker, take with you this gift from the depths. May the tendrils of truth guide in your journey. That was a fun adventure, my bipedal companion. If you ever want to go for another evening stroll, you know where to find me. Thanks, Jefferson. nothing there. It's all ripped off. I think there was something else I could get to from that point. If I'd hit one of the other things. Because there was one I went to and it wasn't glowing and I don't think I hit it. Oh. Ah. Maybe it takes me to that. My Jeffy, yeah. Yeah, that one, it's not glowy now. Is there one that... Oh, go to that Panz. I don't know. There's definitely a thing I haven't gotten. I don't think I thought it was I'd get it from here. It's the one of the 100 souls balls. And I think it comes from doing a dive onto a one of the grey discs. The door should be... should be just around the corner, right? Yep. Might have to see Jeffrey during the day if we want to... Oh, there's still stuff to do there. There's a cracked wall in the mushroom dungeon to get. He's not lying in his bed grave thing. Oh, it's time. Hello again, Reaper. For some reason, I stirred from my usual resting place tonight. I could feel something calling out to me. Oh, you found my old locket. I haven't seen that since the day I buried my only friend. The day the ground shook and sky turned black. I feel so strange. The grave digger. Well, that'd be cool if Jefferson brought us to another goodie. No. It's supposed to be a coffin, but it looks like a sponge, yeah. Okay. See if we can get some upgrades. Well, I think it's more, it's a tombstone. But yeah, it definitely looks spongy. Do the mini set homes make it easier or harder? Probably a little bit easier. Because you can just melee them and then shoot him. Oh, I need 1,000 or 1,500 for upgrades. Okay, that's not happening. Stead Hone has a headstone. Yes, it's a spoonerism. There was also... Who was the other guy? No, because he would... That would make him hot ped. He was pothead. There was another guy that had the start of his two names swapped around. What was it? Can't remember. It made me chuckle though when I read his name out. Thank you, Reaper. My time in this world is over. Wait, did I beat him? Kind of feel robbed now. You acquired an ancient tablet of knowledge. Feel the eye gazing into your soul. What does that become? First name surname? What am I doing with these knowledges? Oh, take them to the crows. Oh, you can make it a sail. Okay, yeah, I looked at it and went a kale, and I didn't do the rest. I'm missing one. What am I missing? Oh, sorry. He was asking about an adventure. This is extra. Yeah, so there's story after the credits, which for a completionist you'll find it, and it's quite a decent chunk of content, as well as post-game cleanup. But yeah, if you beat that final boss and roll credits, like I just had an extra boss. Where's the moon one? Giant squid. Simple joy of TV. Say it's not good for you to watch it all the time. You got to allow yourself a reward now and then. Yeah, that's true. Can we go see Jefferson? Hello again, my feathery nocturnal companion. Must say our stroll the other night was quite liberating. It's tough keeping such a big secret. Maybe that's why I so readily spill everyone else's. Let's go for another stroll. Where are we going, dude? You're definitely more sprightly biped than I'm used to. Like I need to see him during the day to get the other things. Oh, you want me to get off? Alright, see you another time. Jefferson's door was pink? I don't know if Jefferson's wasn't pink when I just went in it just before, but I don't know about the time before that. Okay. Let's go find Daytime Jefferson. Oh, I wonder if I speak to the penguin now. Not the penguin, the crow. Because I can speak to him about his thing of knowledge now that I put the things in the gate. Although it looked like I was missing one, but I thought I picked up 7. I thought we got 7. Unless the moon one doesn't show up at night. That's a stretch. This time of change is more important forever for seek guidance from the Gate of Knowledge. I know, but I thought I've got ghosts and owls. And the garden. And the moon. And the flame watchtower. And the one from Stedhone. And the one from the chest. I did get 7. So which one's missing? I don't know. Yeah, maybe we'll go back to Jeffo. That could be a good point. The only thing I can think of is if I didn't pick one up, but I'm pretty sure I picked them all up, the thing. Greetings, fellow biped. My name is Jefferson. Give me the meal, Jefferson. So one of them is... going to be the blow bomb up in the thing. Cracked wall, deep dank dungeon. That's going to be the Frog King one. One such structure can still be reached by firing an arrow into the distance through a stone arch. There was a hollowed out wall and a key-shaped alcove just north of here inside Castle Lockstone. Perhaps something useful lies behind that wall. Okay, fire an arrow through a stone arch down in the hollows. Castle Lockstone behind a key wall. Okay, so I'm thinking one of those little one of the little key windows, similar to how we bombed one out in a different spot. It was glowy though. It was kind of obvious that. Look at these patterns on the floor. How do I get up there? That's got like a different symbol. I wonder if it means anything. Hey Kenny, how you going, man? I like the concept of it. The user interface was super clunky. And I always felt like I wasn't sure if I was stealth or not. And most of the time, well, sometimes I was, but a lot of times I wasn't. So I felt that there would need to be a better way of letting the player know, look, you're in a safe spot. They did have the warning indicator once you've started to be seen, but it felt like that was a bit late. The graphics was amazing, but and I spoke about this after we played. That's something that's happening more and more because graphic art is something that gets done on a much greater scale, right? So it's like a trade craft. People that do like the graphic artists should be that good. And putting it in a game, like if I got given those assets, I could put them in the game. My game would look that good. Right? But the actual assembling it into game is a different thing. Yeah, but you also don't know. I know someone told me that, Kizron told me that later you can upgrade one of your abilities so that your scanner can see enemies as a red cloud. You just don't know if they're an NAR or one of the Cherno things. Will it set your 370 on fire? No. I'm running at 2060, so that's fine. And I think that was the issue, is that it almost because of also it's sort of hazy and dark and dank and really thematically appropriate, right? That makes it visually hard to see what's going on with human eyes. So you need some Neo 2 at 120 frames per second doesn't play nice with the GPU. Gets pretty warm. Yeah, but you also don't realize what temperatures things can run at. Also, you could just run it at 60 frames a second if you're worried about temperature. Yeah, so I think there needs to be a bit more assistance in the early game. But yeah, it's a great concept, and it probably has a pretty cool, probably has a nice story going with it. Might have another look at it down the track. It feels like they'll put some quality of life things in, or maybe keep working and tinkering. You also have a 144 Hz monitor, but nothing gets that high. Yeah. I don't know, play Fortnite. Nothing can beat Stalker. Stalker was pretty cool. The other thing, the day-night cycle, I was getting very much like it was a 3D This War of Mine kind of vibe, which I like. I love This War of Mine. So if it was going to be something like that. Stalker 2 trailer had you hyped? Nice. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they run with that. Man. Through a hidden keyhole shape. Jefferson, your lead better not be a... Oh, shut myself in the face. There was one of those I wanted to sort of... That one there I want to bomb. From... up there, but you have to fall in from somewhere at the watchtowers. A lot of that comes down to, it's usually in CRPGs people feel that the most because they're usually really drawn out long campaigns. And in fact, Ko was even talking about it the other day because he was planning on doing a Pathfinder evil run. And he was saying that the issue is that when the time they'd planned to do it was right, they would have been finishing right when the next Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous comes out, which means they'd go into another one. And so you're looking at now 200 hours of CRPG. And he said usually he feels it from the community when they get about 2/3 of the way through or thereabout. People are kind of like, yeah, I'm kind of over it, want to get onto something else. Because they seem to drag on, because they do. They're like, they push 100 hours of game. So and the more methodical you are in the gameplay, the more likely you are to encounter that. Like when you get to the, I'm not saying that the game isn't not like you described, but it's very likely a factor. I wonder if the door's still open since the brazier's up. I also need to find that bit where I can jump down into the towers from here. And well, here, make sure I picked up the stone, which I did. Oh, yeah. I know what you mean. You can get that point of no return, and it's now... This is it. And it's that... It's one of the issues that... I don't know if there's a good fix, right? Because if you have the... Okay, the bad guy or the whatever... environmental thing that's happening, it's happening now. So why don't you just continue on your doing things at your own pace? I'm sure it'll be fine and the world won't end. You know, it's kind of why you have to sort of at some stage push player in what feels like a rushed finished. And it definitely, and usually in games like that, it definitely feels like it's playing against how the whole game's gone. More so in games that are very methodical and sort of you can play it out slower paced and pick and choose and take your time. Like in the Mass Effects, it just felt like the game was just being a bit more linear. The combat was still the same and everything else. It should be a more, do you want to embark upon a mission now? See, for me, that's so jarring. When you do something that... and I don't know the development solve around it, because you uncover something, and they're basically saying, this is going to happen now. You know, are you ready to... You know, like, how do you tell the world to wait? This is the final mission. The world's about to blow up any time now. Keep going around. The point of no return should be a short distance rally, not 2/3 of the way through the game. Yeah, I feel you on that. I guess the way to do it then, take any game that made you feel like that. You don't get any more content before the point of no return in the open world area. Just take out a large chunk of the content you had to do after the point of no return quest and just make that bit shorter. That's going to be that's what the trade-off would be. Oh, my little dude that was following me fell off the edge. Okay, I'm looking for... I wonder if it's in there. No, that's where you come up from. Dang it. Okay. There's a hole in the ice somewhere where you can fall down into what's his face's tower. And I don't know, I can't remember where it is. And I'm wondering if this is the thing Jefferson thought he was talking about. Because I already found this one. beast's lair. Man. You missed your massage appointment today? Oh. You didn't set a reminder on your phone? Wait, you didn't have your... Oh, and your phone was inside anyway, so you didn't have... Oh. You total no-showed for it on accident? They're probably going to charge you for that too. You should go to your appointments, dude. I strongly recommend. Yeah, it does happen. Flooded Fortress has a thing in it. Flooded Fortress or Mushroom Dungeon? Oh, I don't know which one's which now. Okay, he's got a thing that said if we fire an arrow through an archway. Isn't that what Jefferson said? There's heaps of archways. You make 98% of them. Well, we can't make you go to them. I think I've found this one that Jefferson's telling me about. Jefferson. Give me food. There's a cracked wall deep in some dank dungeons with a secret behind it. Perhaps playing a large force wall might open a path. Since Frog King flooded lands to the east, many old structures have become inaccessible. One structure can be reached by firing an arrow into the distance through a stone arch. I heard there was a hollowed out wall in a keyhole-shaped alcove just north of here inside Castle Lockstone. Perhaps something lies behind that wall. There's a door in Castle Lockstone I can't open. I don't know about the Frog King one, and the Dank Dungeon one I haven't. I've been through Castle Lockstone so much. We've done all of the estate area though, that's something I guess. I'm calling in the morning, they're closed now. Yeah. Okay. So it's a cracked wall. Outside. Goes to there, and I can't get up there anyway. I have to drop in from somewhere else. And that's, I can't see that being cracked, but maybe it is. We'll be around for a bit. Not too long, man. It's getting on. I don't see you. I'll say goodnight now. Night. What do we got tomorrow? Draft of Darkness. There it is. Man, how have I not seen that? Panz blind. Is it a shrine? It's a shrine. You know what I reckon? I think you don't get to place the moon thing, the 7th crystal, even though we've got the 3 crystals, or the 7 shards of knowledge. I think you don't get to place the 7th one unless you've 100%ed. Like unless that's the last of the 100%. That's what I think. Which, if that's the case, I think the better way to do it would be not be able to fight the Gravekeeper unless he was the last thing to do before handing them in. If that's the case. That way you'd have 6 at the moment. You'd be like, oh, we're done there. Okay, the Flooded Fortress is shoot an arrow through an archway. Off in the distance. Where from? Like this. Too many enemies, Panz. Okay, now that the ghosties will spawn up here and we can kill them. Alright, Kizron, thanks for hanging out, dude. Appreciate all the help with Chernobyl Light today as well. Okay, so that's his fighting chamber. Where does he come up at here? No, there's just something there. You pick it up and then you leave. Okay. So we have to shoot an arrow through an archway somewhere down here. Right. I'm assuming we have to be able to see it, right? Like, is that a silly assumption? Oh, I did that one. Hold on. And how's it going to take... Oh, you know what it's going to do? It's going to hit something like that, which will then give us more stuff to stand on. I wonder if it's a nighttime one then. Try to steer properly. You know. Without the herp and derp. Yeah, I think the arrow hits one of the nice work. It's like something I'd do, dude. Hits one of these, which then puts up tiles for us to stand on. That looks promising. Nice. There's a shrine. So we found the bomb dungeon and the arrow from Frog King. The only one we're missing now is the key alcove in WATCHTOWERS, but I'm pretty sure we do have, unless there's another one. But there is also a door in WATCHTOWERS that we haven't been able to open yet. We're so close. Okay, so the doorway's just in here. Oh, they're done. So I think we're missing 3 shrines, and then I don't know what else, man. Like, what you got for me? Hollowed out wall in a keyhole-shaped alcove just north here inside Castle Lockstone. Okay, that's 1. So you can found the very place you entered these forgotten lands. Now, is he talking about this zone? Have you ever returned there with new abilities you've gained? Perhaps once you've explored some more, I also have some knowledge with which to nourish your mind. Well, he only gave us 2. I think that's right back at the very beginning, but that one was marked off on the... Unless he's talking about the... Oh, those lands are the... that's where we zoned in. Hang on. Maybe it'd be better to go through from the other place. That's okay. Looking for like a bomb or a shot spot here. That was really vague though. the first door. So... what about lighting those braziers? We don't have a spot where we can throw the fireball from. Man, I got bellied, I couldn't move. That was great. Little dude's like, yeah, I just beat the savior of the world. I don't know, Jefferson, you're not being very helpful there, dude. Is this shrine locations? Well, there's gonna be 3 shrines. There's a seed. What it's like without headstone there. It's dead home, I should say. Was open. Okay. Okay. See if we can find these missing shrines. Think I found something that might help. Grove of Spirits. Once in the Lost Cemetery. Grove of Spirits where you start, right? Yeah. Said go back to the start. Jeffrey said go back to the start, right? Which we did. Ah. Well played, game. I was actually... There's a bridge down here. I was wondering how to get across there and never found it. And that's the last life one. Okay. So I think now if we go to a door, that hopefully will have this marked as done. So the nice thing is that it's going to eliminate what zones we need to check. Managed to really far away from the door yet again. As always, I should say. Wow. There it is. Lost Cemetery is done. Right, so the only ones we have... The only doors still open, I think, are the mountaintop ones. Yep. The old Watchtowers, Camp of Free Crows, and Castle Lockstone. Castle Lockstone one, Jeffrey's trying to tell me, but I It says... No. Central area with 4 braziers. Head out through the leftmost door leads to the outside, which is where we came. From this room, take the south exit and follow the path. From the central area with the 4 braziers, head out through the leftmost door that leads to the outside. Central area, 4 braziers. Leftmost door that leads to the outside. Right? From here, take the south exit. There is no south exit. From this room, take the south exit, follow the path until you reach an area with 3 floating platforms with hookshot pillars on them. Oh, it says on the first one, hookshot at the wall to the north, but... just looking down. It said 3 floating. Oh, hang on. Maybe this one? Take the south exit. Castle Lockstone. From the central area with the 4 braziers, head out through the leftmost door that leads to the outside. From this room, take the south exit and follow the path to an area with 3 floating platform pillars on them. You can hookshot through a wall through a keyhole design, and you'll get drawn into it. Okay. I maybe know where that is. I don't think that's an accurate description. No, I don't want to do that. Oh. Pretty sure this is not it either. Just checking something. Okay. I think. So I think it is take this one. Instead of saying take the south exit, I think you should go up the stairs and then take the next left exit and then go through here. There's the 3 floating platforms. And there's the alcove. The shrine. Achievement unlocked, Zen. we got all the shrines then. Okay, so what's missing off? You're back and you don't feel better? Oh, that's not good, dude. Play some balloons. Popping monkeys always makes me feel good. Popping monkeys? Hang on. Monkeys popping balloons. Okay, so I did the 2 things Jeffrey told me to do. But I've still got Camp of Free Crows and the old Watchtowers to go. No, I think if you call up in the morning and, you know, just be honest with them, you're fine. Alright. Give me the advice, Jeffrey. We've only got 2 doors left that are not done, and one of them I think is just hand the stuff. You've picked the island clean of secrets as you have that bowl of fish viscera. Are we done then? Hey Barno, how you doing, man? Yeah, I went 10 hours yesterday. Normally 8, but Friday and Saturday got a bit longer. So if there's nothing left, I think we go to the Camp of Free Crows. The last owl gave, somebody saying the last owl gave him the final piece, but it didn't count as if I had a full tablet. It doesn't remember if it took anything on the floor. Okay, so the only thing we could do is go to where the owl is supposed to be. Which I'm trying to remember where the owl is supposed to be. I think I remember. And maybe it left something on the floor. But I have a feeling this was like... Oh, where was the owl one supposed to be? Because one of the achievements is supposed to pop when you get the owl one. It's like around there. Dude. Okay. I'm not going to say, because it's lying there on the floor, I'm not going to be like, oh, I picked it up. But I'm almost certain I did. But I don't care. It's there. Acquired the final shard of an ancient tablet of knowledge. 3 shards fused together, you feel its eye gazing into your soul. Achievement unlocked in cahoots. Yeah, nice. That'd be a really interesting one to check the VOD on to see if I see what happened there at the time where we met that owl. Atop a great tower many centuries ago. A door existed before the one you have known. The first door was opened by a human seeking the power of gods. Their actions would come at the cost of their soul. The human fused with a being known as Truth. They gained the knowledge of all things across all time. They escaped and returned to the living world, but their soul was lost to the ether. The first door was shattered and broken. With its destruction, the great tower collapsed into the mountains. Truth emerged into the living world, tethered to the ruins that once housed the door. An opportunity was seized by the Lord of Doors, who retrieved the essence of the first door. They would reconstruct the door in a new location and trap death beyond it. This would result in the world stagnating for many centuries. A Reaper was assigned the soul of the mortal who opened the first door. An impossible task, as this soul was already lost to the ether. That's the Grey Crow. Without this knowledge, the Reaper would be lost, searching for many centuries. Truth would whisper to the free crows, offering them knowledge and guiding them towards breaking the world free of its stagnation. It would convince them to tamper with the operations at the Commission, to assign a giant soul to the foretold crow. This would set the foretold crow off onto their journey. That's us. The foretold crow would gather the 7 tablets of truth. They would enter and behold the sight of the first door, and carry the power of truth out of its prison. Achievement unlocked, a true end. So maybe the true end and the 100% don't correlate. They just... You probably will do all the stuff looking for all the things. Because you probably don't need all the shrines to do that. You just need the 7 tablets. 100% achievement. Lord of Chores. So if we have a quick look at the achievements before we wrap it up. Death Door, 20 out of 24. The ones we're missing are... Beat the game only ever using an umbrella as your melee weapon. Feed the Frog King an explosive treat. So I think you got to throw a bomb at him. Like when he's doing one of his phases. And set Grandma's pot on fire. And trigger the metal detector without detecting a threat. Which I think if you have the umbrella equipped, maybe it won't. Or if you don't get a sword, I don't know. But so a couple of those you can only... Obviously you have to beat the game using the melee weapon, which would be fun. So if I was going to do that, which I wouldn't do on stream, it'd be something I'd chill and do off stream if I ever find time. I guess I could go for the Frog and Grandma achievement on that one.